The estimate at complete for time uses historical schedule performance to estimate project duration. The estimate can be used to assess the feasibility of plan duration. Further, the estimate can be placed within a variance, a range of likely values. To calculate the estimate, we need base data. Get the plan value, get the earned value. Calculate the earned schedule. Calculate the schedule performance index for time. Now we can calculate the estimate at complete for time, the EACt. To do that, we first have to choose the best formula for the estimate. Look at the values of the SPIT, the Schedule Performance Index for time. Is there some separation between the values and the nominal value of 1.0? Yes. Is the divergence in values across periods not large? Again, yes. Therefore, use the classic formula for the EACt. That is, the plan duration divided by the Schedule Performance Index for time. Next, graph the measurements. On a simple XY grid, use the vertical axis for the values of the estimate and the horizontal axis for the elapsed periods. Then, set the scale. Plot the observed values of the estimate and connect the dots. How do we interpret the graph? Set a benchmark for comparison. Use the plan duration. It's a straight line at 12 periods. Then, set threshold values. For the estimate, common thresholds are 10% above and below the plan duration. You can see from the graph that the current estimate breaches the upper threshold. Is there a trend? Yes. The estimate has been rising consistently over the past 3 months. The trajectory of the estimate emphasizes the impact of the threshold breach. It's time to act. Hold on, there's one more thing to consider. The estimate uses current performance to estimate future duration. But what about performance in earlier periods? The Schedule Performance Index for time and risks. All of those can affect the future duration. So the EACt is only one of a range of likely values. If it breaches a threshold, action is warranted. If a trend closes in on a threshold breach, action is warranted. If not, the variance of likely values comes into play. A separate video describes how to set and use the variance. Keep that constraint in mind. For now, let's sum up. The classic version of the estimate at complete for time estimates duration based on current schedule performance. A threshold breach or a trend closing on a threshold breach call for action because the plan duration is at risk. In the absence of a breach or a trend toward it, the variance of likely values comes into play. For a step-by-step how-to video, here are the references.